And I'm very big on loyalty. I feel like if you do anything to me at all that I could never imagine doing to you, you're done.
Correct.
You're done.
That's the biggest one.
You're done.
You're really done. Okay, so hey guys.
Hey.
So welcome back to our channels. If
Yes.
you're new, I'm Fabian.
And I'm Rochelle.
So yeah, today we wanted to do a girls chat and we wanted to talk about friendships. Basically late 20s, early 30s, navigating friendships. So yeah,
Yes.
we can get into that.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so we have a list of topics that we're just gonna go through, talk about it. We have our little prosecco, of course.
Yes.
So
cheers,
yes,
girl.
we'll be talking about that.
We gotta cheers first.
Of course.
Cheers.
Okay, perfect. All right, so perfect. Let's talk about our first topic. So first topic is, what is friendship?
All right.
Okay.
So I feel like, I forgot I might have a wet spot. So I think for me, I would define friendship as just, like a relationship or a bond with another individual or multiple people in which you guys share like common connections or like experiences, different values in life. And I do think that also for something to be considered a friendship, that it's important that it withstands time, distance, changes in your lives. That's what I think friendship is.
Okay, I definitely agree with that, because I would definitely say some people don't see like friendship as a relationship, and it's 100%.
It's definitely
a relationship, like 100%. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. I feel like a friend is someone who supports you, like is there when you need them, you're there when they need you. So definitely like a nurturing experience for both of you guys, good times, bad times, sad times. So definitely think that friendship is, like a growing relationship.
Yeah. And I would say, actually, I think a true friendship is when it can stand all of those things. Because I do think that there's levels to friendships. We are going to get into that. But a true friendship is one that can withstand time, essentially. Like all the different changes that you go through in life.
100%. So that is basically what we define as friendship. Our second one is low maintenance versus high maintenance. We wanted to do this topic because I feel like this year everybody was talking about low and high maintenance friends.
And all the friends are cutting out. Because they don't agree on this topic.
Correct. So what are your thoughts?
Well, honestly, as an overall, I don't see a different or anything wrong with being the low maintenance or the high maintenance friend.
Okay.
I just think that it also goes into the levels things. Like when you place your friends in different categories, because realistically they are.
Yeah.
Some friends do fall into the more low maintenance category where other friends are. But also something that I noticed that people talk about when they say low maintenance versus high maintenance. It's like, I know they talk about like the strong friend, like checking on your friend. I don't just think of low maintenance as that. Like, for instance, like if you have a friend, like you guys live in different states or whatever, like you guys might not check up on each other all the time or see each other all the time. But it's like once you guys get back together, it's like everything, it's just like how it would be. So in that case, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a low maintenance friend, but it could just be like you guys are in busy times of your life versus, on the other hand, low maintenance could be like, girl, I don't care if you call me. Not just like life is actually going on. Like, I don't need you to check on me, whatever. Like, oh, she's good.
Yeah.
Like, I know Rochelle's good, or I know Fabian's good. X, Y, Z. No. So, but yeah, and then I think that, you could be low maintenance and high maintenance at the same time, just depending on
what it is.
Yeah, what it is.
Okay, fair enough. I feel like it's important to know the friend you have.
Yes.
So you need to know if your friend is a friend who's like, oh no, I want us to talk on the phone, I want us to hang out, I want us to do stuff, I want us to go on trips. Or if this is the friend that's like, oh no girl, like if it's something going on in your life, you can always call me, but don't call me every day. And if you're having like a birthday event, I'm gonna pull up, but we don't have to hang out all the time. I think the issue is when like you're, let's say, a high maintenance friend and you want your friend to be high maintenance as well, and they're low. And that's when I think it's like a whole thing, because if you're a person who's like, no, I want my friends to like go out with me, for us to have like that established relationship, but my friend, I could never hit her up to like have us make plans together, or I could never really call her like on just some chill, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, what's up? Yeah. It has to be like a thing going on. I think that's when it's a difference. So if you're a person who wants high maintenance friends, I think that's also okay too. And you just have to make that choice of like, is it worth still having the friendship with the person who's like a low maintenance friend?
Yeah.
So, and then for me, I feel like, because I have like a lot of quote unquote high maintenance friends, I don't mind having the low maintenance friends, because it's like too much to have like 10 friends that you always have to be on the phone with, friends that you always have to show up, do stuff like that. So, and I'm pretty sure those same low maintenance friends consider me like low maintenance.
What do you consider high maintenance?
High maintenance is like, we talk at least once a week. We literally do like each other's events. Like if we're in the same city, we go out with each other all the time. Like you probably, if something happened to you, you would think to call me.
Yeah.
Like if something happened to me, I would probably think to call you. Like that type of thing. Like low maintenance to me is literally how you describe like, hey girl, haven't seen you in 3 months, like what's up? Yeah. And we're just like, okay, and we basically catch up and talk. Like I have friends from college who are like that, like we don't talk every day. 3 months pass and one of us picks up the phone, we're like, hey, what's up, and we catch up on like 3 months of what has happened. That's like a low maintenance friend to me.
Okay.
So yeah.
So would you define our relationship as high maintenance?
I just define our friendship as a high maintenance friendship. What would you do? But I don't think high maintenance is bad. I think that's another thing. Like people are labeling high maintenance like it's a bad thing,
right?
And I don't think high maintenance is bad.
Yeah, like we're not dependent on each other.
Exactly.
Like it's not a need. It's more like a want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like we're not calling each other because it's just like, oh my god.
Like I need you to save my life right now. Like no, like
we just be vibing.
So yeah,
we got things to talk about. I don't know.
To me, that's another thing. I think they're making it seem like high maintenance is like a bad term.
Yeah.
When it's not. It's just the fact that you guys have more connection throughout the week or like the times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah, because that's what I feel like the argument was on social media, like high maintenance versus low maintenance. Like you have to be one or the other. Or one is superior to the other one. And I don't feel like it. Like I said, it just, you could be high maintenance in some relationships, low maintenance in the others. Exactly. And you could be high maintenance and low maintenance in the same relationship.
True.
Or friendship. Yeah, it's a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it just depends. So
facts. So there could be times where you guys are going from like talking every day to where there's a period where you guys both are in grind mode and like not talking as often. Yeah. And if both of you guys recognize that and it's still beef, like it has become low maintenance and then it could become high maintenance again. So I agree. Yeah. It'd be the same thing. So yeah.
Okay. And drop down in the comments, by the way, and let us know, are you the high maintenance friend or are you the low maintenance friend?
Or the low.
And are you against the other side?
Correct.
All right. So the next topic is friend favoritism. I'm going to let you take that, friend, because I don't know what you meant by that.
Okay, friend favoritism. So that's another thing, because you'll see in a lot of comments, especially on TikTok, people will say like their gripe with some of their friends is the fact that they feel like their friend has favoritism to other friends, which I think is true, but I could respect it and I understand it, and maybe I understand it because like you said, there's different like levels. Like if someone's my best friend, I'm going to have a favoritism compared to like an associate or even just like a base level friend. Yeah. So if you're saying like, oh my gosh, I always see you out with Rochelle, like, but you're not really hanging out with me as much, you have to understand that this person has been like around for 15 years and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like sometimes people can confuse with like favoritism with like the category of friendship, which is probably another thing because somebody might think that you're their best friend when you're like their close friend or regular friend. But yeah, friend favoritism, because some people think that like you're favoring one friend over the other.
Yeah, I get that. And I mean, sometimes it just kind of happens with the circumstances because like, for instance, you and I are both on this journey of content creation together. I mean, we already had that relationship where we communicate often and about various things, but I feel like like in this situation, when you find people that you guys are on the same path of things that you want to achieve together,
right,
it's more easier to cling to them and go to them for support because you guys are in this same struggle. Like you guys understand. Like, you know, it's like, I'm sure when you were in PA school or when you were in school, you're not gonna come to me about those things,
right?
While I was in school too, we're in different schools for different things. So I just think that that's also into it, and that kind of leans into the low maintenance versus high maintenance. Because, you know, you have to be able to understand that.
You have to be able to understand that. So that is one point. I could see if you're like in a friend group and you're like, dang, like I feel like we're in a friend group, but these people like favor each other over me. I could understand that too. But I guess it's also the point of you have to understand, do these people like have more in common? Do these people like, you know, get along more? Are these people more like low maintenance, high maintenance as well? Because like, I feel like I have multiple friend groups, and in some of the friend groups, one of the friends, me and them could be like this, and the other friend, we are still close friends, but we don't have to talk every day or text every day and stuff like that. And it's not necessarily like a favoritism. We're just not like bestie because that's just not how our personalities have meshed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could bother some people, especially if it's like a trio or something like that.
Have you experienced issues with friend favoritism?
I feel like yes, because again, like if you're in a friend group, then it could be weird. But I think it's only weird if like the people in the group make it weird. Right. So like if it's something that we all can do together and then like one person doesn't know about it or is like finding out about it like once we're outside, then that could be like, okay, are you guys being weird? Yeah, like is there an issue? Right. But if it's something like, oh, let's say if I can only take one person, like I have a 1-person invite and I'm like, oh, Rochelle, come with me, but we're in like a 3 or 4 person friend group, it's hard for the other person to be mad because I could only bring one person. Yeah. So I've experienced it. It's just hard to navigate, but you and your friend just have to, or friends should have like good communication.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah. So there's that. So I do think there could be friend favoritism, but I also think you have to understand like the tiers of friend.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I think a good good segue would be to kind of talk about, it's next on the list. Categories of friends.
Categories of friends.
Because this is definitely an important one.
So for me, I think there's like, again, categories, tiers, whatever. So I think like the basic is like acquaintance or whatever. Associate. Literally, like acquaintance. Rochelle's friend would probably be like my acquaintance. Like if I know about them and we all go out together, like I'm acquainted with them and there's no tea, no shade, I wouldn't consider us a friend group. That's just your friend who I'm acquainted with. Associate to me is like somebody I could go out with, but we're never probably going to be kikiing on the phone or like doing things that's like personal. It's literally like, hey girl, we could go grab drinks at happy hour, or we're at a work event, we're work friends, or like we'll communicate more than the acquaintance and we have more familiarity, but it's not like an actual solid friendship. Yeah. And then I think there's like friends where we're not like close or best friends, but like I could come to you, I could call you, we could do multiple things together. Like, girl, let's go to Pilates, let's go to this. We text sometimes, we'll like converse here and there, and it's cool. And then I feel like there's like close friends that I feel like really like close to them. You know, we could be friends for a while. Like I would tell them like my personal, you know, business, stuff like that. And then I feel like there's like best friends who you like share like most of like your personal life with, like your family probably knows about them, like that type of thing.
Yeah. I agree. I would say, so I never thought about the difference between the acquaintance and an associate, but I do agree with you. I would say like, as far as associates go, I think associates typically are the people that are in the same place with you at the same time. So those are like typically like, you said like the work friends, people you meet at work, people you meet at school where it's just like, you know, if I didn't have a class with you or if we didn't have this study group or whatever, like we don't have anything in common other than that one thing.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, but it's like we could get along, like we could kiki in the moment, but it's just like, you know, we cool because we here.
Because we're here.
We're here. And then I think there's the friend where it's just like, you know, like you said, like you can't get on the phone with them, talk with them.
Yeah.
And I do think you tell them stuff. To me, honestly, I think it goes from associate or acquaintance to friend to best friend.
Okay.
But I think in the friend and best friend, there's different types of people that fill those spots. Like you can have a best friend a best friend that, I don't know, this is the person that you know is financially literate, or they have certain strong points, like they're the motivator, or they're you know, religious friend, like that you can go to. So I think that, I think the categories for me are just associate. Like I said, those are the people that you guys are only associated with each other because of the circumstances that you are in, whether that's a job, class, whatever. Friend is the people who you have a closer connection with, like you guys will hang out, you will go do things with each other, but it's not like you said, like I'm not telling you my personal business. It might just be like, girl, what's the tea? Like, so what's the tea? Oh, girl, well, you know, I went on vacation, whatever, things like that. But like you said, we're not sharing personal things that are so deep and private. And then the best friend, to me, I feel like a best friend is like basically the same thing as family, I would say. Like what you would define family as. Like, you know, your family's supposed to be there for you no matter what. They're there through the good times, the bad, like they don't judge you. I think that a best friend is just someone that is just almost like family. Like I consider you my sister. We're not family, but it's like if we were family, we wouldn't be any closer. So that's how I kind of look at the best friends. But like I said, I do feel like there's categories, because you could be friends with 5 different people, but you're friends with them for different reasons.
True.
Like a travel friend, for instance, like things like that. The church friend.
But I feel like those are the categories that I put in like close or friend. Because to me, like best friend, you basically almost can do everything with them. Like I could be like, let's go travel here together. We could do a travel trip. We could go and do a Pilates class together. I could go and bring you somewhere with my family. I could call you and be like, girl, oh my gosh, my car just broke down. And like we're crying about that together. Like to me, like a best friend is like an everything friend, if that makes sense. Like we literally could do everything together. I agree with you that you're probably like have a friend who's stronger in something. So I might call this best friend in particular about like, oh my God, like this is happening, and they could give me advice on, oh, I know this person, let me just call them up and the situation is handled. But in its entirety, I still can do that with every best friend, if that makes sense.
I guess that's true,
So that's the only thing. So it is friendship categories, but I think, again, where I think it gets mixed up is if like, you think this person is like, I say this person my associate, and they're like, oh no, Faith is my best friend. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right.
Love that for you.
And then it will just be like, oh, okay. And I think that ends up making like the friendship have a strain, because you thinking I should act as a best friend, and I'm like, oh girl, we're associates. Like, I didn't think I had to like tell you about this. Like, you know what I mean? And that can just make it like different and awkward. So
I agree.
So I think that's like one thing with the friendship categories. So now you have a minute on the
Do you know you have 30 minutes? 30. 30. Yes. Quick intermission, guys. I have 0 minutes.
Yes. Next topic. That's not your friend.
I'll take that's not your friend for 500.
There's 2 sides to that's not your friend.
What are they, sis?
Number 1, that's not your friend is you don't even know that girl. That is not your friend.
You do not know.
You do not know her. That is not your friend. You might think you do, but do you know you have 30 minutes? 30. Okay. Yes. 30. So that is not your friend. That's the number 1. That's not your friend. Number 2, you think you guys are friends. Y'all probably been friends for years, months, whatever. And she's actually not your friend. The way she's moving.
I got a story.
The way she's moving. That girl's not. She's not loyal.
These girls ain't loyal.
Exactly. So those are like the 2. What do you want to start with?
Let's start with the easier one, because when you don't know that person, that's easier to tackle.
True.
When you know that person and they're still not your friend, We're gonna get to it.
Correct.
But yeah, that's not your friend. So I think, like we said before, with the categories of friends, people do not understand that there are levels to this.
Correct.
And I think honestly, it just comes when you're in a situation where, like, I feel like a lot of people like that fall into this category where they befriend people or like so like into people that they don't really know. It's kind of like, I feel like there's something going on behind the scenes.
True.
Like, you're longing for
a friend. Yes.
So I feel like you're just more easily like
impressed.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, me and her are besties just because y'all went in to happy hour together.
Yeah. We had lunch. Like,
right.
Now it's like,
oh my gosh, we're BFFs.
Yeah. So that's what I would think of when I think people who are considering people who are not their friends. It's kind of like, for people who probably don't have friends or aren't the type that easily make friends. So it's kind of like any little similarities or anything like any little connection that you guys make,
you're like, this is my friend, we're friends, and that's not the case.
I think it's the same thing like when people date guys or girls and like instantly they're like, oh, we're gonna get married. Like you're a little delusional.
You're doing too much. You're so right. You're a little too. Give it some time.
Yes.
Give it some time, and in that way, you could really vet if this is your friend, if this is not your friend. Number one, you probably don't even really know somebody's your friend until you guys have actually gone through stuff together, or you have gone through something and that person has been there for you.
Right.
Other than that, like you thinking just because like, oh my gosh, we converse all the time now, or like I met up with, that's not your friend. You do not know them. No. And you need to act accordingly. So until you properly vet people, keep it very cute, keep it very demure.
You know what that reminds me of? This is a prime example of those girls that will tell you their life stories. And it's like, and you're like, I just met you. Exactly. I just met you.
Literally.
Yes.
Don't know you from a can of paint, and they're willing to tell you any and everything about you. That's a red flag. A person who has no friends, literally, if somebody is in their late 20s and 30s, I don't think you need to have 50, 11 friends.
Yeah.
But if a person is literally in their late 20s, 30s, and they don't have one friend, not one person who has decided to stick it out with them, ride it through or whatever, that's a red flag.
Definitely.
100%. 100%. Nobody throughout high school, middle school, college, if you went to a professional program or graduate program, your job has decided like, no, we're locked in as friends. That's a red flag. If you're turning over friends every 3 to 6 months, that's the red flag. If you have a new best friend every year, that's a red flag. Am I lying?
I don't got nothing to say.
So if you're encountering someone who has any of these things, you need to proceed with caution, because there's really a reason why that's happening. Like, dang, wasn't she best friends with Latasha last year? Oh, now she's trying to be best friends with you this year. Mm-hmm. Oh, now next year she's best friends with Katie. Literally, there's something going on with this girl.
There's a common denominator.
Denominator.
Yeah,
literally.
And it's her.
And it's her. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That is not your friend.
That is not your friend.
Stay far away.
Literally.
Okay?
You do not know her.
No.
At all.
And you don't want to.
And you don't need to.
But yeah, girl, let's talk about those other friends.
The other ones who are not your friends.
The people who should be your friend and act like your friend and do all the things that a friend does face to face.
Correct.
But behind the scenes,
that's not your friend.
That is not your friend.
Correct.
And I have a few stories to tell. But I'm gonna let you take it away.
No, I agree. Like, number one, as a friend, that's another thing. As a friend, you need to have some type of loyalty. If I feel like you're disloyal as a friend, 100% we're not gonna be friends anymore. That's 1,000%. If I think I have to even look over my shoulder about anything, we cannot be friends. If we are constantly always into it, we cannot be friends. So,
I agree.
That's not my friend.
That's not my friend. And I'm very big on loyalty. I feel like if you do anything to me at all that I could never imagine doing to you, you're done.
Correct.
You're done.
That's the biggest one.
You're done.
You're really done.
Because I am a loyal friend.
Literally.
Even if I was to fall out with somebody, there's just certain things that just should never happen.
Correct.
Friends who lie on you.
Right.
I hope you know who I'm thinking of.
I don't, so we'll talk about that on camera. Who? Oh, yes. Okay.
We had a friend, guys. But yeah, I feel like if they could do stuff to you that you know that you would not do to them,
correct,
automatically that is not your friend, because again, friendship, you guys should have common values.
Exactly.
And loyalty is definitely a value. And some of these girls will throw you under the bus.
Under the bus.
And that is not a friend.
That is not
a friend who lies is not a friend.
Correct.
A friend who's friends with people. I think you could be friends with people that don't like your friend. But
in a certain situation.
Yeah.
If I'm already friends with that person, then and they end up having a falling out, or they're not friends, okay. But I'm never gonna go out of my way and befriend someone you're already beefing with or doesn't like you. That is crazy to me.
Yeah. I mean, we're older now, but when I was younger, I feel like if I have beef with somebody and now my friend starts talking to them, to me, there's something wrong with that picture.
Correct.
Why would that person feel comfortable being
your friends?
They know we're friends.
And they don't even know you.
Exactly.
Again, that's not your friend. So why are you even doing that? That is a key point. At the end of the day, I don't care if someone thinks it sounds high school. If my friend has a person who doesn't like them or whatever the case may be, I'm not going out of my way to become friends with that person or befriend that person. That's insane and that's crazy.
Yeah.
That you're moving crazy and that is disloyal.
Yeah.
So period, point blank, you got to get cut off for that, and you just have to know immediately. Because why are you doing that? Like, out of all the people, there's 8 billion people on this earth.
But you want to choose.
But you want to be the friends with.
No, ma'am.
We got to clear you out
immediately.
Got to take you out with the trash.
30 minutes.
30.
That's the theme of this video.
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Because they gotta go.
You're out with the trash.
Immediately.
Have to.
Immediately.
So yeah, that's not your friend. So act accordingly as a friend, or you gotta go. That's not your friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, loyalty, trust, same things you would want in a romantic partner, you want in your friend.
Agreed.
So yeah, stand 10 toes about your friend, period. So that's kind of like what we were talking about, signs that someone isn't your friend.
Yeah. If they're friends with multiple people that don't like you,
correct. Take them out.
That's definitely not your friend.
Correct. Take them out.
That's number one.
Take them out.
Make it worse if they didn't know him before.
Correct. Take them out.
Make it worse.
Take them out.
And number two. If you can't trust that person.
Correct.
That is not your friend.
Correct.
I should be able to know that if I tell you something, it should be lock and key.
Period.
Nothing should be coming out of your mouth.
Period.
So I think loyalty, trust.
Yep.
What else would be signs?
Communication. That's another thing. Like, if we're real friends, we should be able to have a conversation about something, and then we just keep it pushing, and you know what it is. It's so funny because like a couple months ago, me and Rochelle were talking about this crazy argument we had years ago. And the crazy part about it is we never talks about it after the argument, which is so funny.
Mind you, that was our only argument.
That was literally, and the argument was so ridiculous because we were so loud and actually yelling at the other person.
At my parents' house.
At her, literally, that's
mom sleep.
And that's why I had to leave. I ended up leaving the house because I was like, we're so loud and her mom is knocked out. It was like midnight, like late in the night.
And we were outside.
And we were outside yelling, like going toe for toe, yelling, super crazy. And I think it was funny because like literally like days later, one of us just ends up calling the other one and we're talking like it's regular, and it was just like whatever.
Because it wasn't a real fight. Like
yeah.
It was just really just a heated debate. We were talking about a certain topic, and we both had very opposite views about it, but it was relating to our personal lives.
Yeah.
So I felt like she was attacking me, and I probably was attacking her. But it wasn't deep. It was just on like a level of just like, it was just a heated debate, guys.
I think what made it better though is, and this is what I was trying to bring it to, is the fact that when we were arguing, none of us were taking low blows.
Yeah.
We weren't starting to say like, that's why I can't stand your ass and da 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 da. And we weren't starting to say like nasty things about each other or like bring up stuff to be hurtful to the other. Yeah. And I feel like when you're really not somebody's friend, when you guys get into an argument or get into some type of disagreement, they're gonna start trying to throw you under the bus, tell your business, try to do low blows. And that's when you can't really come back from it. But if we're just arguing about a topic and then it's just like, whatever, girl. Like, I don't even care about this days later. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, that's a real friend. Because we stayed on
the topic.
We were arguing, but nothing we said was off the topic.
Exactly.
And she was at my house. And even when she left, like, my other best friend was there. And I'm telling y'all, I was going off about it. I was so pissed off. I was so mad. I was so mad. So the yelling continued, but now I'm yelling at my other best friend about her. But it still stayed on the topic. It's not like because she left now I'm like, you can just spray about her.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about her. I was just still like, can you believe Fables?
Yeah.
How could she say that?
Right.
Like, that's what we were arguing. But like, it literally stayed on the topic.
Correct.
I didn't have anything negative to say about her. She didn't have anything negative to say about me. Because I don't think those things.
Exactly.
If you have a friend or someone in your life and you guys get into something and now they're saying all these horrible things about you, or to other people about you, then you know that that's their real feelings.
Exactly.
That's how they truly feel
about you. Exactly.
And they need to go.
Exactly. Besides, that's not your real friend.
That is not your real friend.
Period. Blank.
I was thinking about a topic, and when you said communication, I completely forgot. Signs. I don't know.
Communication. I think you maybe, well, I don't know if you were thinking this, but the thing about it is like being able to talk to your friend.
No, it wasn't communication. It was going to be a different topic. But I just completely lost my train of thought. I'm going to try to think about it. Give me a second.
But yeah, that's one thing I want to say. Like, what you were going to say?
Signs that someone is not your friend. When they take little jabs at you or little jokes, like, you know those friends that'll be like, oh girl, you always dress up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You think you're so smart.
Yeah.
Like, when people say little things and it's like hidden as a joke, I feel like you gotta watch out for those, because sometimes when people are jealous of you or insecure within themselves, they will project that. And they will spew little microaggressions that they might try to play off as a joke or, you know, I'm just curious. I'm just asking. Yeah. You gotta watch out for the undertone of things that people say, because sometimes if someone is not a real friend, they will reveal themselves, but it's not always like, they're not gonna come and tell you I'm not your friend.
True.
But when they're around you, if they have certain energy, you have to watch that. Or, you know, if they, like I said, if they say certain things, because I had a couple people like that. like a girl was like, I remember somebody said, dang, we were going out. She's like, you don't gotta do your eyebrows. Why are you doing your eyebrows? Like, we're just going to get something to eat. I'm like, girl, I don't got no eyebrows. I'm just drawing my eyebrows. And it's really because they can't do their eyebrows. They can't do their makeup. They're envious of something within you, or they see something in you that they don't see in themselves or they want in themselves. So they kind of say little things to kind of make you feel inferior, or like what you're doing is wrong, I think, to kind of make themselves. That is not a friend.
True. That is very true. I would say also a person who can't take accountability. Like if I come to you and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this hurt my feelings, or I didn't like that you said X, Y, and Z, what was up with that, or what's going on? And it's like, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? Like I didn't even mean to, that wasn't even what I was trying to say.
I'm gonna drink on that.
Like, oh my gosh, like I don't even know why you're making it a big deal. You should be able to talk to your friend, and at the end of the day, like even if, that's another thing, like that's why we say relationships and friendships are the same. Sometimes in your friendship, you have to know when to take an L. Just like sometimes in your relationship, you have to take that L. Even if you think you're right, you kind of give into the argument because you know the other person felt some type of way. Yeah. So if my friend is coming to me and she's like, hey, I kind of didn't like that you did X, Y, and Z, like that actually hurt my feelings. Like, even if I feel like, dang, that wasn't in my intent to do it, girl, I'm so sorry. I wasn't even trying to like do X, Y, and Z and call it a spade instead of acting like oblivious. Like, oh my God, why are you making this a big deal?
I hate
so
that.
What?
I hate that.
Just call it a day and like acknowledge the fact that you made them feel some type of way. Take accountability and, you know, move forward that way in the friendship. Like, be mature about it.
Seriously.
So yeah.
Okay. I feel like I'm just getting triggered a little bit. I don't know. A lot of these things, guys, that's why I don't have 1,000,001 friends. I have very few close friends.
Yeah.
Because girls, them associates or the friends that are not really friends.
Your friends, honey. So yeah. So that was our next one, communication with friends.
We got another story time about these friends.
What?
The birthday thing.
Oh,
we should talk about that.
We should.
Yeah.
Rochelle.
It's always something.
Very much something. Very much something.
Be right back.
BRB. We're back. So you were gonna talk about.
What was I going to talk about?
You were bringing something up when I was like, oh, we already got into communication with friends, and you were like, oh, what about birthdays?
Oh, I was saying that's a story time. I think was that.
You want to do birthdays? Okay, I was going to talk about birthdays with friends.
Go ahead. What you was going to say with the birthdays with friends?
Because that's another reason why girls be falling out. Apparently.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about it.
So the girls fall out a lot of times before their birthday or during their birthday because friends aren't supportive. So that's another thing of a girl not being your friend. There's certain reasons, yes, I would understand if you don't show up for like a friend's birthday, but sometimes people are just truly terrible and like will find every excuse not to celebrate their friend or act crazy on their birthday or what have you. To me, I feel like your friend just needs you for one day. Literally 1 day out of the year. 1 day out of the year. And if it's nothing big, it's crazy for me to think that you consider this person a friend and you wouldn't be showing up for them.
Seriously. Because honestly, if we're being honest, I would show up to an associate's birthday.
Exactly.
If I had the availability and the time.
Right.
Yeah, like I would. So why would I not show up for my friend?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you want
to show up for your friends?
I feel like you don't even have to ask me, like, your birthday's coming up.
Right.
I didn't need an invite to know I was going to be there.
Right.
Like, or I didn't know what was going to happen, but I just knew I was going to be there.
Right.
So I don't know.
So I don't know. So to me, that's always one that's just so crazy when girls are like, oh, like I planned like this dinner and nobody showed up. Or like I was trying to do this and like nobody got back to me. And I'm just like, what?
But you know, also with that kind of goes into what we were talking about earlier where you have to know your friends or who is your friend.
True.
Because I feel like when it comes to the birthdays, oftentimes that's when people get their imaginations get wild sometimes.
True.
If you know you only got 2 friends, why are you trying to have a birthday dinner with 20 people?
Correct.
Who are these people?
That is very true.
So if you only talk to 2-3 people, and yeah, you might know 20 people, but y'all are just acquaintances.
Very true.
You can't get mad or expect everybody to drop everything. Like, yes, if they are available, because I said I would go if I am available. But again, there's categories. So if you fall into an associate, or that's what I look at you as, you're not a priority.
Facts.
So when people are not showing up for you, but those are the people that you're inviting, you have to also take responsibility.
True.
So it goes both ways. Your real friends should show up.
You're right.
But you should also know who are your real friends that
very correct.
should be showing up.
That is very true.
So, girl, the girlies be inviting any and everybody to their birthday. And I feel like that is why the whole birthday dinner and splitting the bill became an issue.
Correct.
Because the girlies are not really friends.
Yeah.
And it's a one thing when y'all gotta split that bill evenly and we all cool.
Exactly.
It's another thing when nobody don't know anybody.
Correct.
And you ate, it's not even a matter of breaking it down like, oh, I ate 20, you ate 25.
Right.
Let's split it like that. No. But if I get an appetizer, a drink, and an entree, and you got two appetizers, 2-3 drinks, shots, desserts,
meals. We've had this happen. Meals.
And now my $150 meal is
$300, $400.
Then we have a problem.
Then there's an issue because we're not even friends.
Exactly.
That's number one. I would still even be looking at my friend crazy, but it's the fact that you're really not even my friend, and now I'm having to pay $400 because somebody wanted to run it up on everybody else's dime.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. I feel like with the birthday dinners, like as friends, just choose your real main friends. You don't need to have 10, 15, 20 people there to make it seem like it's a big celebration.
Yeah.
In reality, you should want people who actually want to celebrate you and not people who just, they're showing up because you invited them.
I agree.
So
I agree.
that is one of the things. So birthday dinners also are ruining friendships because you guys are doing too much with them. Choose your little main 5, 7 maybe. Y'all do dinner, really cute, could cut it down the middle because everybody kind of orders around the same thing and you guys go home.
Girl. And the next level to the birthday dinners, which I don't have much experience with this, but maybe you do, the birthday trips.
True.
Because it's one thing to invite randoms on a birthday dinner.
Right.
When it comes to the birthday trips, people be falling out on these birthday trips too because they be inviting a bunch of people that they don't know.
Correct.
And now everybody's fighting each other.
Correct.
So
that's another thing. I feel like don't be so pressed to have friends, and don't be so pressed to have 30 million friends. Yes, it looks cute when you see these people who have like all these people showing up for them and all this other stuff, but in reality, you want the quality of friend.
Yeah.
So you trying to have 10, 15 people out of the country with you, it could be a mess when you really could have just had 4 solid friends show up. You guys have a good time, a ball, you know, everybody's pockets, everything looks good, you feel good, and it's a good trip.
Yeah.
You guys are trying to bring people you barely know out of the country, and then it becomes a situation because it's like this person, you didn't really know their pockets, and now they're penny pinching, and now everybody's like, well, why do I have to pay for this person or this room? Stop doing all of that and just keep it cute. Like I had a friend, luckily the girl didn't end up coming, but I had a friend that we were like a trio group, and she was gonna invite this girl that we all barely know. She met her maybe one time in person. I knew her from social media, and I even asked my friend, like, why are you don't have to have extras. Like, it's okay. Like, so in real time, that's another thing. Stop doing the excessive people at the birthday dinner. Stop doing the excessive people on the birthday trips. Stop inviting people on birthday trips who you know don't have the coins even when you're in the city with them.
Lord.
And you guys won't fall out as friends before that.
Yes, definitely. Because I feel like that is what plays the factor. The whole it's really with the whole birthday dinners and the birthday trips, it really comes down to the pockets.
Yes.
Because I feel like even like going back to the whole dispute about splitting the bill, the only people who ever fall into the category, the people who be the most mad about people not wanting to split the bill are the ones that are running up the tab.
Correct.
And it's because they don't have the money to pay for what they're eating. They're doing it because of you. So, so I think that you need to know the pockets of the people that you're dealing with because that can definitely cause issues.
Right.
Definitely. At a dinner
100%.
table, but most definitely on a trip. Because if I'm out the country or on a trip and you don't have the funds,
we're running it up out the country.
Baby, you should have just stayed at home.
Yep.
Because we are doing what we need to do.
Exactly.
We like trips. So we can talk about it.
Correct.
The girlies who don't have the pockets, I'm sorry, honey. You should have stayed back at home.
100%.
Because now you're ruining it for everybody.
Now you and your friend are beefing behind that.
Not only you and your friend, but your friend's friends.
Exactly.
Because they don't ever know each other on the trips.
Exactly. So
not everybody mad.
So yeah, what is your thoughts now that you mentioned that, or what are your thoughts behind mixing friend groups?
I think that it's the responsibility of the mixer to know if the friend groups can be mixed, because your friends don't know each other, but you know your friends.
Right. True.
So if you are gonna bring some people around and mix and mingle your friends, you should know, like, okay, well, I know Fable has this personality.
Yeah.
She doesn't like X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Maybe I have another friend who I'm okay with those things, but I know that person's energy or attitude or whatever it is gonna bother you. Why would I bring y'all around each other?
True.
if I don't think y'all gonna get along. So that's what I think about mixing. It's up to the person. There's nothing wrong with it because it could be good.
It could be.
And now that could be your friend too.
Right.
But you have to know the personalities because not everybody has a personality that can mesh with one another. And just because you mesh with these people's individual personalities doesn't mean that they will mesh with each other.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's the responsibility of the friend to know.
True.
So yeah, I don't really mix friends.
Okay.
Friends that don't know each other at all. Like, I feel like most times when I'm mixing friends, it's like they both might be cool with each other. They're just not friends like that. Like, I might be the mutual friend, but it's they know each other. Okay. But the times that I have like introduced to people, I feel like, you know, the personalities match. So I know that you would probably get along. But yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, fair enough.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same thing. I feel like I haven't necessarily mixed friends, but I host events like Galentine's or like Friendsmas, stuff like that, and then my friends will like interact then. And then I'll see like, oh, okay, like they seem kind of like cool together or whatever, and then they'll start like knowing each other or following each other. Like when I threw my Galentine's, 2 of my friends ended up going out for like lunch together and like connecting because they wanted to like network and stuff about something they're working on. So that turned out really good. And then like 2 of my other friends, they ended up connecting from that, and they're like cool or whatever, so they could get like along. So I feel like I end up indirectly mixing them, and they kind of just like end up seeing who they vibe with. Yeah. So yeah. But other than that, I agree with you that for the most part, I don't mix too much just because sometimes then it could get messy, and I never want it to be like, now since I'm still hanging out with you're still yeah, like she's still my friend. Like, I don't know. So yeah,
I definitely think you gotta be careful with that.
Yeah, you do. So you gotta keep it really cute.
Definitely.
So yeah. Okay, things you could do to repair a friendship. So say you feel like you and your friend are on the outs, or you guys even, let's say, fell out. What do you think? Is it like repairable? What do you think?
I feel like, for one, you should take ego out of it. So I feel like a reason why a friendship would die, like a real friendship, because if it's a fake friendship, it could easily die.
Correct.
And it's not worth repairing. But if you have a genuine friendship with someone, I think for one, you need to take ego out of it, because sometimes you might, like you said, like you might feel like you're in the right, but you just gotta eat it. Yeah. For the sake of the argument. Yeah. So for one, I think that ego needs to be taken out of it, and I think that communication definitely has to be on the forefront. Communication is very important because you guys need to be able to address things openly, share your feelings about it, and be able to come to a resolution. And obviously, without proper communication, that's impossible. Right. But then again, I feel like everything we've been talking about kind of plays into it, because if you're not accountable, also, you can't repair friendship. You can't have ego or pride. Yeah, you have to be able to communicate effectively, because that's the only way to resolve whatever issue you guys are having, or it's going to continue. Right. And I think you have to be able to take accountability. Facts. Even if you don't think you're wrong, maybe you're wrong to them. So you still have to take accountability for whatever you did, how that made that person feel. Right. So I feel like things you can do is take accountability and communicate openly, honestly, and with respect.
I like that. Okay, period. So I like that. I agree. I feel like if anything, I agree with Rochelle. Like, you really have to put in the work, just like you would put in the work to like repair a relationship. Like, if you guys are getting back together, you guys have to understand like what went wrong in the relationship, and like how you guys are going to improve, and how it's going to be better, what you're going to put in place so it doesn't happen again. And then I think there's like certain relationships that you can repair, and then some that you just kind of have to like let fall to the wayside. Yes. So yeah, so I feel like friendships where it's just like we kind of like drifted apart and there was no real reason, like that is probably, of course, something that you could come back to. If it's something that we like ended up having like an argument, but nothing crazy, and then like we just didn't do anything to repair it then, and now we decide like, oh my gosh, I really miss you, let's talk. Yeah. I think that's something. If it's something as far as like a betrayal or something insane, that's probably when I'm just gonna have to be like, I call a spade, and we're just gonna have to like let it go. Like, I'm gonna forgive you from a distance, but like as far as us being like friends again, that will be weird.
In the words of Nene Leaks, the door is closed. The door be closed, okay? If you do any shiesty things, the door is closed.
Right.
The little things, like you said, I agree. Like, if it's just like distance or like something petty. I don't know if you remember. So, Fable and I had one fault, like a disagreement, like that heated debate. But we actually had a temporary time we weren't talking.
That is true. That is actually
that
very
was like
true.
that was like right after high school.
That is very true.
And it was on me, because I'm not gonna lie. And I might be like this these days, I don't know, but no one's ever like tested it. But like back then when I was younger, like I had a mindset like if I like going to the thing, if I say like if it's something I feel like you wouldn't do to me, I'm not messing with you.
Yeah.
I also would like sometimes like if I think it in my head, it would be the truth, and I'll just go with it. So Fable actually did not do anything to me. Fable didn't do anything to me. When Fable wrote a tweet one day, and I just automatically assumed it was about me. And I was like, I'm not talking to that girl. I won't argue with my friends though, and that's the thing. Like for me, a real friend, like I don't want to argue with my friends. Yeah. So like I just stopped talking to her, but it wasn't like, there wasn't no, like, I wasn't gonna fight with her about it, but I was just like, how could she? Like, I'm her friend, why would she say that about me? So I just stopped talking to her. And like I said, this was right around graduation time. So it's like, I had that thought in my head, and then we graduated high school. So it wasn't like we was in each other's face and I wasn't talking. Yeah. Do you remember? And then we saw each other at UCF.
I do, yeah. And then we saw each other at UCF. And I think I reached out to her too, because I was just like, hey girl, like we ended up not talking anymore. Like, can we just have a conversation or whatever? So we ended up like sitting down and resolving that it was really no beef or
no beef at all. Like I said, I was just like in my head, like, how could she do this? That's my best friend.
So yeah, so that was that, because I was just like, okay, well that was kind of awky, because it was no beef on my end either. So I was just like, okay, like let me just reach out to her, which is where the pride thing comes in, because somebody else could have just been like, oh, she stopped messing with me, I'm good off her, like I'm done with her. So yeah, I was just like, let me reach out to her and see what's good, what's going on. So we ended up meeting like on campus and like talking about everything or whatever.
And it was nothing. She was like, girl, that Facebook post was not about you. And I was just like, oh. And we were good, because I wasn't like very upset about it. I was like, okay, whatever, girl. And then it was like we were leaving school anyway. Yeah. So I feel like it would have been less of a thing if we were still in school at the time, because we would have been seeing each other to talk about it. But it was kind of like I went to school for college, and then that had happened, and then we didn't see each other till you came to college. Yeah. And yeah, we were good. And like I said, that's what real friendship is. That wasn't really nothing to repair. I mean, we had it was just a little hiccup, but there was really nothing going on. Yeah. So yeah, all depending on what the friendship breakup was about, pretty much. So yeah, like if this girl was messing with your man, do not repair that friendship. But if it's just something that y'all can get over, like if a friend messing with your man, don't repair it either.
Yeah, exactly. But if it's just like, stop the badness. If it's just like, oh my God, I feel like you didn't show up for me on this one birthday, you probably could get over that.
No, I'm not starting.
I'm talking about this.
No, I know, but you just made me think of something.
What did I make me think of?
How do we feel about friends? Like, I already know how you feel about it, but let's think about it. Going back to how we say like friends being friends with people who don't like you. What do you think about the friend who knows that people are talking about you? Right, the friend that is around. What do you think? Like, if your friend is in that predicament, what is a friend supposed to do?
So I feel like two things. Either the friend is going to have to like defend you, shut it down, or the friend is going to have to be like, you guys know I'm friends with her. Like, we're not doing this when I'm around. Like, that's pretty much what it is. Like, oh guys, I'm friends with her. Like, let's keep it cute. Or no, you're just a hater. That's why you're trying to say this about my friend. And even if we're friends, like whatever the case may be. For me, I feel like I'm always just like shutting it down, because like if I'm friends with both, I'm not gonna let her talk about you crazy and you're not gonna talk about her crazy. So that's pretty much what I feel like.
Yeah, but what if they're both your friends?
That's what I mean. Like if I'm.
No, I mean like, but what if it's just a situation of like they're venting to you, but they're talking about your friend?
So to me, venting and talking about somebody is different though. That's what I mean. So if it's a situation where you're like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe it because like she was messing around with my boyfriend and I feel like a type of way about this. I can't really be mad about you expressing that because you're just telling me about a situation, whether it was my friend, the next girl, whoever, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. If you're telling me like, that's why I can't stand your dirty friend who's doing this, that, and the third, and you're dragging her through the mud, I'm not about to let you just trace her off.
Yeah. Like, I will fight you about my friends. I'm not even gonna lie.
So that's what I mean. Like I'm not gonna trace you. But yeah, I'm not gonna let her trace you off and I'm over here just like, hey girl, calling you later, like I think that's crazy. Like, yeah. But if you're venting about like, oh my gosh, I didn't like how X, Y, and Z went on, that's when I'm just like, you would have been saying that about whoever the situation would have been, even your own friend.
I agree.
So, yeah.
Okay, what else? What else do you think about things to repair the relationship?
Other things to repair the friendship, not doing what you guys used to do in the past. So if I say what made us fall out was, oh, I didn't like that you used to do like snide remarks or whatever. Moving forward in the relationship, you can't do that. Even if you think it's jokey, whatever the case may be, moving forward, we can't do that. So it's like not repeating the past is also what's going to repair the friendship. Like us really knowing like, and then two, dealing with the issue as soon as it comes. So instead of just waiting for, oh, I'm pissed about something from 2 months ago, 3 months ago, just bring it up like around the time that it's bothering you. Because then it's going to look crazy if I'm talking about something else and you're like, oh, girl, in September, I didn't like that you did whatever. It's going to be that. And it's going to be like, well, why didn't you just tell me then and there?
Yeah.
So another thing to repair the friendship is dealing with the issue in the moment.
Yeah. Because I'm a direct person. I think.
Yeah, Michelle's very direct.
I'm confrontational.
She's very confrontational.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just bring it to the front door. I'm gonna bring it to the front door.
Right. So yeah.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with being confrontational.
I don't think so. I don't think it's wrong with being confrontational.
If I feel like, especially in a friendship, if I feel like you're doing something to me, wouldn't you rather me bring it to you? Like, instead of me harboring the feelings and now, like, what I did back then was not right.
Yeah.
Like, rather than, like, that could have easily been resolved. If I was been like, Fabo, why the hell are you putting Facebook posts about me? And you would have been like, girl, that wasn't about you. And then I'd be like, okay, because I really don't have no reason to think it would be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I am confrontational, but I didn't want to fight with my friend, and I thought she was talking about me, so I just didn't talk to her. But in general, I feel like I'm the type to just confront stuff. Like, if I feel like it's feel a certain type of way, I feel like you should just go to the person directly, be like, hey, I felt some type of way when you did X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Put it all on the table. Yeah. And then that's when that friend has an opportunity to show the accountability and you guys can display your proper communication skills.
Right.
And that will show you if that's a real friend. Because a real friend should be able to express themselves, what's wrong, what you did to me.
Yeah.
And you should also be able to say, okay, I understand what I did to you, and vice versa.
Right.
The person who feels wrong should know how to express that, and the other person should know how to take it in and, take accountability and communicate to resolve the issue.
Right. Correct. So yeah.
So when to let your friendships go. We already started talking about.
We started talking about the honey. Let me get a little bit more.
We need a refill.
Because honey, okay.
Sometimes you really have to let the friends
you really gotta let the friend go, even if you love the friend down. Okay.
Because I had to let some people go.
I had to let some people go this year, actually.
Maybe not this year, but last year, maybe the year before that. But yeah, I mean, but what I will say though, I feel like if someone's your true friend,
true,
the true aspect of a friend, they won't be let go.
That is very true.
Like all of that, everything that we're saying, nothing will happen if they are a true friend.
True.
Because they would care about the relationship, because it's just like being with your man or your woman.
Exactly.
If you got a boyfriend or a girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever.
Right.
And they don't want to be with you no more, and you feel like you want that relationship, you're going to work and do whatever you can to fix that. So why
you're not going to put the relationship in jeopardy if you really cared about the wife, boyfriend, girlfriend,
exactly.
whatever.
So I feel like it's the same thing with a friendship. I feel like the only difference between a friendship and a romantic relationship is the romance.
Correct.
Like, there's certain things you can't do with your friends.
Right.
But at the end of the day, in every other aspect, they're like, just like you could pillow talk and you could tell your boyfriend, your partner, whoever, about your day and all of the things. That's the same way you would call your friend.
Yeah.
Like when you don't have a boyfriend, who you calling?
Agreed.
Your boyfriends. Like, your friends are really just like your partner.
Literally. So yeah, 100%. No, so I agree. Like, I feel like, yeah, there comes a point in time when you're really just like, dang, like, there's nothing to salvage in the friendship.
Yeah.
Like, I could love you down, but I just know that it's not going to be a good relationship. Like, for me especially, like, for one instance, like, I knew I had to let the friendship go, basically, because it was never going to be the same. Mm-hmm. So it's like, instead of just, like, trying to keep a halfway friendship or whatever, it's just like, we might as well not be friends, because it's just not, I'd rather us not be weird and it'd be like a weird thing, like, hey, but it's still awkward because of like the feelings, the underlying feelings or whatever. So I just gotta let it go.
Yeah.
So,
and I also feel like there's levels to letting go. Like, there's the letting go where it's like, okay, we're not cool anymore, we're not friends, but it's like, I'm okay with you as a person.
Right, there's no beef.
Yeah, I just cannot, we can't be where we are.
Exactly.
And then there's the other fallouts where it's like,
we're beefing.
Off with that person's head because you did me wrong. So yeah, definitely when it comes to the betrayal and all of that, like, when it's something that you do to me that I would never do to you, you gotta be done. You're done.
You have
but
to.
Then sometimes we might just fall out because we're just or we're not falling out, but we're just no longer friends because your lifestyle is so different than mine.
Yeah.
I can't really be friends with you. Or maybe, you know, you have different beliefs or different things because, you know, with the election, things like that. Things like that. Like, but when it comes to really the only time where I'm like, you're done would have to be you have to do something to me that I'm just like,
I would never do
how
this.
could you?
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel like I could fall out with somebody and still like be like,
all right, well, cool. Yeah, like I could see you out and it's still like, hey, or whatever. We still follow each other, that type of thing. It's not like anything crazy.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And those, like, I let it go, but it's not like we have anything going on.
Yeah, they kind of just fall, like, they just get demoted. I feel like they turn into like associates.
Literally.
It's like we still cool, but we ain't cool.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like you said, it's the people who's just like, no, you did way too much. Like, you're done. I'm sorry. Like, you did way too much. Like, we have to wrap it up.
So, as you're cutting off friendships in your older years, you know, because the thing is, I feel like for instance, we met when we were in high school.
Yeah.
So us being friends and our friendship would be different than, you know, when you meet people later in life. So I'm sure it's not people like me that you're cutting off.
So here's the thing, because that's one thing I will say. Like, I feel like the difference between Rochelle and I is that we kind of like grew in the same path. Because you could be friends with someone from high school and then you guys are no longer, I hate to say no longer friends, but no longer friends because you guys just aren't
not equally yoked.
Yes, and it's not relatable anymore and it's not like fun anymore, and that happens. Even if you guys are still cool, nothing happened, nothing crazy. Like you said, we're just living different lives or have different morals or beliefs, whatever. For me, I think the difference is that I realize in your late 20s and 30s is when you make a lot of the friends that you probably will have like into adulthood, because a lot of the things that you believe in now is basically set in stone. Yeah. Like a lot of things that you believe in at 30, you're going to believe in at 60.
Yeah.
Versus your mindset at 15 and 30 completely different.
Completely.
So the friends that I've met later on, like late 20s and 30s, most of them I could think that I'm going to keep them around just because, unless they do something crazy, of course, there isn't like a lot of life changes that would change because I'm done with school, I'm in my career, so it's not like they're going to be situational friends like, oh, I'm only friends with them because we were in high school, or only friends with them because we had our first job together, or we were in college together, whatever. But the ones I am cutting off, but I will agree with you to an extent, because I feel like all the friends I've had for like now 10, 16 years, whatever, we're like set in stone now. I don't think there's anything that's going to be different just because like we've went through the differences.
Yeah.
Like we've literally grown from like teenagers, young adults, in school, in our careers, to being on our own.
Yeah.
So it's nothing much that's really going to change, like, or whatever.
What would change?
What would really change? Like, you know? So with those friends, like, I don't feel like you guys are like going anywhere.
Yeah.
And with the new friends, I would be shook just because, again, like, I now have like a new standard of what a friend is. It's not just because we're in school together. It's not because, oh, X, Y, and Z. It's literally because we share like common grounds.
Right. So with that, obviously, we know that when you met like the friends that you have that are like 10 plus years, it's because you were in school, you were younger. Do you find that it was easier to meet friends then, or it's easier now?
Definitely then. I feel like it's easier meeting friends when you're younger just because, again, we're in the same situation. So we met in biology. Like, we had the same class. Like, my other friends from 10 years, like my college friends, we met either because we were roommates or because we were in an organization together or whatever. Or
biology in 9th grade, by the way. 2008
so,
or 9.
Yeah, one of those. And then, yeah, so then I feel like it's easier then. I feel like it's way harder to make friends in adulthood. It's hard for me to say because I feel like I don't have an issue with making friends, but actual solid friends who I would consider like close friends or best friends, yeah, like I think it's difficult in adulthood just because like you really have to sit there and have the time to really get to know this person. Like we said, vet the person, see if you would even get to that point, because I probably wouldn't start telling you my business until like a year or two years later. Like,
honestly,
you know what I mean? So it's just like we don't have that common ground for us to even be at the point of like you think that I'm that close to you or whatever. So
yeah, I would agree. I feel like it was easier for me back then also, and I feel like for me though it's for a different reason. It's so weird. I feel like I'm an extroverted introvert. So when I don't know people or I'm in an unfamiliar place, I'm like a turtle. Like I'm not, if people talk to me or, I got a little something in my cup, then I could like kind of socialize a little bit more. But like if I was to walk into a space and I don't know anybody, or I know you and I were to walk in a space, either I'm gonna cling to you if I know one person and I'm gonna just talk to you the whole night, or if people talk to me, it's gonna be a situation like you gotta come talk to me. So in that, it's hard for me to meet friends because even like networking events and stuff, like those things are intimidating. Like I don't like it. Okay. So yeah, for me, it's hard to make friends, and I'd be skeptical. So. Because I don't know if you're going to be my friend. I'm really like, like, I feel like you got to peel it back versus
to get it.
Yeah, like in high school and middle school, like, or whatever, I feel like it was much easier because it's like, you don't have no choice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right now, I feel like I have friends.
Yeah, like
I have friends. Like,
exactly.
Yeah. So I have friends. So Fabo's not in the same state as me, but if I want to talk about something, to be honest, now that I think about it, most of my friends are not in the same place as me.
I'm crying.
Yeah, like a lot of you guys are far. Like, and that shows that they are real friends because we will talk like, you will not be able to tell that we're not in the same place. But yeah, I would just rather be like, girl, Fabo, guess what? Rather than me go out and try to find friends. So I feel like it's harder, but I do agree that the friends that you do find when you're older, they are more long lasting and more aligned with where you are currently right now. Because again, going back to the 15, like where you were at 15, a lot can happen.
A lot.
Like we are not, that was half of our lives.
Literally.
Like literally. We were children.
Literally kids.
Children in puberty. Literally. Acting crazy, don't know anything.
About anything. Literally.
Yeah, so definitely, I feel like it's easier then, but it's also easier to lose those friends. Like, only a real deal friend is gonna be with you from childhood.
16 years.
Yeah,
literally.
Because for y'all to sustain that, there has to be commonplace.
Exactly.
So yeah, and I guess that's why we're friends, because even in high school we had the same thoughts. Like, we told y'all in our last girl chat, from back then we wanted to do YouTube.
Literally.
We met in biology, like she said. So.
Yeah. So we both were in pre-med magnet programs. Literally, both of us being Caribbean, both of us going to like college. Because some people don't go to college, which is fine. But it was always our intentions to go to college. Always our intentions to be in a professional program. Like, so like, you know what I mean? Versus some people you meet in high school at 14, their entire life now is different from how we live life. Yeah. We travel. Some people don't like traveling or don't have the opportunity to travel. Like, we live in our own places. Like, some people still live back home. Like, so different life experiences can happen in 15, 16 years that you and the person just like after high school could end up falling out. Or you and the person in college or whatever. So it's really just about like, if you guys, one, have that type of friendship, and then two, if you guys continue to have like a common, you know, experience. Yeah. So, yeah. So yeah, luckily for me, I feel like I've experienced that with multiple friends, thankfully. Like, I still have a lot of friends from high school, a lot of friends from college who I would say like I'm locked in with at this point in time. Yeah. And thankfully enough, because of that, I feel like I really do have friends. Like, I'm really Gucci.
No, she really has friends. Like, I feel like Fable has like 15 best friends. Not 15 friends. I feel like she has 15 best friends. And I don't know how close the friends they are, but she has like sincere friends.
Like, sincere, genuine friends. So that's why I'm just like, I really feel Gucci. Like, and I've met like a friend in adulthood that I'm just like, okay, we're close. So I just feel like I'm good type of thing.
How did y'all meet?
We actually met because we followed each other on Instagram for a couple of years, and then we met through a mutual friend.
Yeah, I guess that's what we can talk about. How do you meet friends in your 30s?
Yeah, so I think one, you have to meet through mutuals, networking events.
That's how I met my friends.
Social media. And you can't feel like...
I don't know about social media.
The social media can be iffy, but I've met like cool people.
Yeah, I actually met someone through social media, and that's when I actually mingled friends. Cause she was like, oh, I just came here from Georgia. I'm moving to Miami. You know, I'm looking for friends. And I'm like, Georgia, Miami. Well, I have another friend. Who's from Georgia to Miami. Mm-hmm. She's doing an entrepreneurial thing too. Like, I think you guys would be good.
Right.
You guys have some common grounds. But yeah, so I think definitely, I guess, you gotta kind of date people on social media. I guess I'm okay with it with the girls.
With the guys? Yeah, the guys, I haven't dated anybody through Instagram, so I can't give you guys the tea on that. But when it comes to friends,
I tried it one time.
You could do Instagram, mutuals, networking events.
0 out of 10. Wouldn't recommend.
I'm crying. And then, I think that's really and going out by yourself, because that's another thing. I did meet this girl. We were both at a bar, like it was like an event or whatever, and we were both at a bar, and she actually like came up to me and like we just started talking, found out that she's a dentist. I'm telling her what I do. We just ended up started talking, and it was like cool, just like that. And then we ended up, there was an event the next day with the same group, and she was like, well, I was gonna go by myself tomorrow, like let's just go out to, and I was like, okay girl, like we can go out together. And then like that, so so she's cool. So I would consider her like an associate at this point in time. Yeah.
So would you say you're extroverted?
I think I'm extroverted.
Yeah. I feel like you gotta put yourself out there more when you're meeting people at this age, because like,
you do.
Like as children or when you're younger, the people that I was considering associates that you kind of come across, they kind of fall into your lap.
Right.
Like y'all are in the same class. Y'all live in the same area or things like that. When you're adults, these are people you actually have to go out and put in real effort to find like a relationship. And really do that. And like go out together and talk and really try to build that relationship. And that's the crazy part. Like for me, I feel like because now I'm not going out on my way to meet people, I just meet people on the fly. Yeah. So me going to that one random event by myself, I meet her. Like me having a personal trainer now, I'm meeting like friends at the gym. Like one of my friends,
she's actually a friend now. I'm going to like her birthday stuff in January. So it's just like, and I met her by going to the gym just randomly. And like, so yeah, her and I started talking at the gym, started going out together. I actually spent like Thanksgiving with her and her family. Aww. So yeah, so you just have to do stuff and be willing to do stuff by yourself, and that's when you're gonna end up meeting people too.
Yeah, I'm still not there with the by myself. Or if I'm by myself, I will do stuff by myself, but I will stay to myself.
To yourself, okay, yeah.
Like I'm in my bubble.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah.
So that's, yeah, pretty much how I feel like meeting people stuff. So yeah, and then my last point is, I do feel like a lot of the girlies are like losing friends now in their late 20s, early 30s.
What kind of friends are these?
Like
their old friends,
like their old friend, like old and new, best friend and regular friend. Like the girlies are like, I've been seeing, especially a lot on TikTok, and I don't know if this is just my feed that I've had this. It might be my feed, but the girlies are like literally like losing friends, and I'm always wondering like, is it this age? I'm an age, and it's because we're really coming into who we are, or like people are just done with halfway friendships?
I think it's both.
Okay.
So I feel like when it comes to the older friends, it can become a place, like a situation where you were close with someone and then it becomes a halfway friendship. But it could be something as simple just because you guys are in two different aspects. But again, if one is low maintenance versus high maintenance, or have higher expectations than the other, I feel like that's when it comes into play. If it's purely innocent. But it could just be a situation like going back to what we said, like if you're like, if we both started here mindset wise, beliefs, everything, I feel like everybody needs to grow. So if I'm constantly having a mindset of going in this way and you're like either still right here or you're going backwards, or then I feel like there'll be a disconnect. Or it could be a situation of like maybe you guys both had a common thing that wasn't necessarily the best thing.
Okay, true.
So like, you know, like maybe we connected because we both immature, we're both petty.
True.
You know, we like to do whatever, I don't know. I'm just giving a scenario, but it's like now I'm mature and I'm like, you know,
I don't like doing this anymore.
I don't like doing that, or I don't like partying anymore. I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be in the church. I want to be at our homebody. I want to do this. And it's like you have a friend that's clashing with your current beliefs.
Okay, true.
I feel like then you might cut them off.
Yeah.
And then I also feel like it could be a situation where the person was never really your friend, like, because sometimes in friend groups, people might tolerate people, or even if they're not a friend group, people just have friends sometimes, you just tolerate them. You just tolerate them, true. And then it comes a time when you're just like,
I'm done tolerating.
Yeah, I never liked you to begin with, you know? So I feel like that could happen, or like, you know, with the newer friendships, some of the stuff, because I've come across some things on TikTok, I feel like a lot of people are like having like aesthetic friends.
True.
Like it's not a real friend, it's what you want your friend to look like.
Yeah.
Not like physically, but like what, like your picture of a friend.
No, sometimes it's aesthetic too.
It is aesthetic, but I'm saying like not so, it doesn't have to be solely aesthetic. It could be a multitude of things. But like it's an aesthetic friend rather than a real friend.
Correct.
Like, oh, you like to travel, I like to travel. Let's be friends together.
And really, there's no other thing besides that they like to travel. And when you get to the real root of it, they're not really friends. They just will travel.
Surface level.
Very, exactly.
So yeah, that's how I would think of it, because I just really find it hard to. I feel like if it's your real friend, y'all are not falling out.
I hear you.
Y'all are not falling out. Unless real friends could be nasty. But like the friends that are just falling out just on a daily, those are not real friends. If it's not a real deal situation and you fall out with somebody, I think those girls are not friends. And the girlies today are not friends.
The girlies are not friends, because going back to her aesthetic point, some people really are just friends on the look. You're pretty, I'm pretty, we could go out and look good together. You're in social media, I'm in social media, we could go out and do stuff together. Like that type of thing. Like you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, it'll look like we're getting money girls together.
Or I could just bounce head. Another battery, it's gone. How long we been talking?
So yeah, like I was saying before, some things are really just because of the look. Like this will look good to others, so that's why we should like join and make friends. Or like you said, like oh, because this is going on, like, let's just be friends. Like, and that typically happens with people who A, aren't good friends, and they're just trying to collect friends like Infinity Stones, or B, literally, or B, like, they just feel like they need to have 1,000 friends for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's one thing my mom always said. Like, you should not have a lot of friends. Like,
okay.
You should not strive to have that. It's like, she's like, quality over quantity. That's what my mom always stressed. Like, she's like, as long as you have a few good friends.
And that's all you
like, that's
need.
all you need. Of course, if you have a few good ones, then you meet more. The more the merrier.
Right.
But all you really need is a few good friends.
Good.
Everything else is just added blessings.
Right.
But yeah, because once you get if you're too desperate
yes.
for the friends, that is when you're gonna fall into some issues.
Correct.
So yeah, I'm not friends with everybody. I'm not gonna be friends with everybody.
I thought you sister. So yeah. So, any other things you wanted to discuss? When it comes to friends.
What haven't we discussed when it comes to friends? I feel like we probably covered it. Like, literally. Yeah.
So yes, guys, that was our whole little spiel about like friendships.
Meeting friends in your 30s, when people are your friends and when they're not
your friends. Losing friends.
Yes. How to repair friendships.
Repairing.
The whole nine.
All of that.
Friendship 101.
So definitely, of course, we want to do more of these in the future. So if you like the sit down chit chat videos, definitely like, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know if you're the high maintenance or low maintenance friends. Let us know if you're losing friends or gaining friends at this stage in your life, and let us know what friendship means to you. So
yeah, and of course, like you said, we enjoy doing these videos. Of course, you know, we're in a long distance relationship.
Literally at this point.
So we can't do these often, but definitely any ideas you guys have for future girl chats, let us know and we'll be sure to give them to you. But yeah, in the meantime, guys, be sure, I don't know if Abel said it, but please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend,
all of the things.
Share with somebody who's not a real friend. And yeah, I will see you in the next one.
Bye.